Hi, Cancer and Cancer Rising. Here is your horoscope for May 2025. I'm Astrologer Joseph Anthony. All right, a lot of the heavy energy should be behind us. As I said at the beginning of 2025, the first 4 months of 2025 were going to be a little rough. They were going to be a little heavy. But now that the energy is moving forward, these next few months actually look pretty good astrologically. And this month in May, we have a lot of dynamics that are taking place, but they're focusing their attention right up here in your 10th house of career and status. So what does this mean? If you're a rising sign in Cancer, or if you are a sun sign Cancer, this is a general overview using tropical Western astrology, using whole house systems. Again, it's very basic. It's very minimal because everyone's birthday is different. Everyone's astrological chart's different. But you'll still get about a 75% accuracy, okay? Again, depending on your birth chart. So this is going to be a month where a lot of your focus is going to be right up in here. So things pertaining to your status, such as marriage, divorce, getting awards, interacting with government agencies, getting a lot more attention from your business or job. These are all going to be the themes this month. And I say that because Neptune has entered Aries, will stay here until April, the middle of April, then backtrack into Pisces. But we also have Venus up here in this 10th house. And then later on, towards the end of the month, Saturn will enter this part of your chart. So there's a lot of activity up here for many of you. So you need to focus your attention on what it is you want, what your goals are, what do you want to achieve. Are your relationships steady? Is your job satisfying? Is your company okay? All of this stuff is going to be on your radar this month. All right. Now, the sun is making its way like it normally does this time of the year through the sign of Taurus, which is the 11th house. This has a lot to do with socializing and being around others and clubs, affiliations, thinking about the future. So this month definitely has the theme of thinking about the future. Now, when we look here, Mars has finally left your sign and is now in the second house of income and value. So many of you are going to be chasing money or investments or the physical side of life, such as possessions and things that are valuable to you. And so this is going to continue to be the theme here until it moves out of here into the third house, which won't be until, I believe, June. So there's going to be a lot of interesting dynamics this month, as they all are. But when major outer planets like Neptune, Saturn, Uranus, and Uranus will be changing signs in July, that's going to be huge. And then, of course, Pluto has already entered Aquarius and will stay there until, 2030, 39, 2040 something, 43. But anyway, my point being is that there's a lot of activity on the top part of your chart. So this is going to make you very popular, or there's going to give you a lot of attention that you need to focus on, whether you like it or not. So this is the general theme. So as I said, Venus enters Aries the very first day of the month, and it'll stay here for about 5.5 weeks, going through this 10th house. Now, it is in direct motion, which is wonderful because it's been in retrograde for a long time. But now in direct motion, it is about you focusing on getting a lot more attention at work, getting a raise, anything to do with a job, anything to do with your status, such as, like I said, getting married or a relationship that becomes very prominent with you. Maybe you're having an affair at work. I don't know, but I'm just saying, I'm just putting it out there. So this is going to be very important as you focus a lot of your attention on your goals and your career. And then on the 2nd, Venus will exactly conjunct Neptune. So this is a very magical alignment where things could flow our way, or they could seem so real that they're unrealistic. I mean, Neptune is confusing, but it's in Aries, and Venus is in Aries, which does not work very well because it's very impulsive. So you might find yourself making career changes or doing something impulsively right at the beginning of this month. So for many of you, this could be, if you're an artist or creativity, this could be skyrocketing all forms of creativity at work. Maybe you're getting a lot more attention. Maybe there's a lot of changes at your job that benefit you in some way, like you're getting a more responsibility or a raise or something along those lines. Could be a love affair at work. I'm just saying, just putting those out there. Again, they're possibilities. But this is a wonderful alignment, but we just have to be realistic with it. okay? Because anything to do with Neptune, it could be overconfidence and unrealistic expectations. So keep an eye on that. But with Venus, they're both very loving, caring energies, generally speaking. But in Aries, it's very self-directed. So be careful of people with big egos. Now, on the 4th, Pluto goes retrograde for the first time this year, and it'll stay in Aquarius, of course. It's not going to go back into Capricorn. So in the 8th house, once again, we're looking at themes related to taxes, finances, the deeper psychological side of life. And so this is going to slow down, and it's more of a subconscious feeling more than it is an event that's going to happen. It's more of a review process, especially in the 8th house. There's a deep, sullen sort of feeling about your past and where you've been. This is like the black hole. The 8th house is like the black hole of the psyche. And so here we see Pluto, the ruler of the 8th house, really amplifying its power. So you need to be careful of not going down this deep abyss and finding yourself being lost in anger or fear or, weird stuff over the next, let's say, 5.5, 6 months, because that's how long it'll stay retrograde. But again, it's a very subtle, subconscious thing. And because this is the house of shared resources, many of you are going to be focusing your attention on your investments and money matters that you share with others, and anything to do with financial endeavors in general, like debt and credit and taxes, like I said. But this is the theme here with all of that. So keep an eye on all that. Nothing really to be concerned about. Now on the 10th, Mercury switches gears, finally leaves Aries, because it was retrograde, and now enters easygoing, simple Taurus in the 11th house. So what it's suggesting is getting back to fundamentals, like enjoying your friends, enjoying your family, enjoying the people around you, spending some quality time with somebody you really care about. Could be just a friendship and just hanging out. Could be an organization that you're affiliated with. So you've got a bunch of planets here in the 11th house. So this is about the future as well. And of course, when we have all these planets in Taurus and, Pluto's getting activated over here, Mars is getting activated over here, of course, there's a lot of concerns or discussions about financial matters, because Taurus is a financial sign. And now we have Mercury entering that financial sign. So we have a lot of activity going on with the future and money. And so keep an eye on that one as well. Don't overwhelm yourself. Now, the full moon on the 12th continues to highlight this theme of financial matters, because Scorpio is the other sign that represents finance. It's Taurus and finance. Now, this is going to be at 22 degrees of Scorpio, so wherever that is in your birth chart, you want to pay attention to that. It's going to have Uranus in the mix, so there could be some surprises with other people, organizations, affiliations. Your plans for the future may have a little monkey wrench in them, or it could pertain to something to do with your family life, like your home life, or a child, or a project that you're working on that's costing you more money than you realized, and you're coming to some sort of realization, because full moons are realizations. They could be endings, but they're more like realizations, okay? And so this one's going to be huge, and like I said, it could be any one of those areas that I just mentioned. Now, the Sun conjuncts Uranus exactly late on the 17th into the 18th. So here we see a nice conjunction. But anytime the Sun conjuncts Uranus, this is a very futuristic, psychic, energy that's about like opening up a portal to the near future. So you need to pay attention to all of that energy coming in, because this could be very profound in many ways for you to see the future and to see where it's going to take you. The Sun conjunct Uranus could also be breaking bad habits, breaking old habits, breaking old friendships, acquaintances, things that are no longer working for you. Because Aquarius values freedom very much so, and the Sun is about new endeavors, something new coming in. So pay attention to what's going on around you in regards to your friendships, your hopes and wishes for the future, what it is that you want, what you don't want, because you may be in for some surprises with the people around you. And your creativity may be off the charts. You want to break free from something that's not working for you anymore. So this is going to be a very profound time for many of you. So pay close attention. Now, when we go to the 21st until the rest of the month, now we have this Gemini energy coming in, and it starts off with the sun entering Gemini and your 12th house. Now, the 12th house is a very spiritual house, very mystical. It's the doorway to these other realms of consciousness. And so you become more sensitive. But in Gemini, it's about over-analyzing and thinking, and that monkey brain just, generally speaking, it's like all over the place. And I don't mean that as an insult. I mean, it's just, when Gemini energy is like two monkeys subconsciously, talking to each other, being very playful and, just being mischievous. And so the Gemini energy is the mind going into this duality. And so you find yourself overthinking and overanalyzing and worrying and thinking about the past as the sun makes its way through the 12th house. Now, the good news here is working by yourself behind the scenes, or writing or expressing yourself in some way. This could be really good. And so Gemini is about self-expression, and it is about the inner dialogue that you have within yourself. And so this again represents the past. Okay, the 12th, the 8th, and the 4th house all represent the past. So you need to pay attention to that. It's not a big deal, but you'll find yourself wanting to communicate more within yourself and others. Now, on the 24th and 25th, Saturn moves into your 10th house, into the sign of Aries. The last time it was here, it was like 1996. So think back in 1996 and what was going on in your life back then. But Saturn at a high point in your chart brings recognition, notoriety. It brings a lot more attention in some way. Maybe you're dealing with higher ups. Maybe you're dealing with governments. And so for the course of the next 2.5 years, as Saturn makes its way through your 10th house, Saturn is also the taskmaster. So Saturn does like you to work hard and put the effort in. Saturn is not easygoing and lucky. It's just the opposite. It's like, how bad do you want this? Do you want this enough to do this, this, and this? And then you get rewarded down the line. So it's going to bring in some very creative energy, though, as it meets up with Neptune. As you can see here, 1 degree and 0 degrees. These guys won't be exact conjunct until 2026. But this is a very creative and manifesting energy. Okay, Saturn is a good manifesting energy because it likes to build, it likes structure, it likes foundation. And then, it creates because it puts in the effort to achieve, high levels of success or recognition or whatever it is. So this is going to be very important in the next couple of months, especially in 2026, when both of these planets, Neptune and Saturn, will retrograde this fall back out for the last time into Pisces, but then they'll come back into Aries in the beginning of 2026, and they'll both stay here for a while. So this is going to be a very profound time for many of you. And so this is why the theme absolutely seems to be career-oriented this month, or status-oriented. Now, Mercury enters Gemini on the 26th, right there, gets closer to the sun. So again, the mental capacity, the communication, all kinds of ideas, they're all coming to the forefront for many of you. I would say write them down. Express yourself to the closest people in your life. Remember, Jupiter's also there. And by the way, Jupiter will be entering your sign in June. So whatever you're preparing for, Jupiter's going to help you out beginning in June. So this Gemini moon is really amping up the energy. And of course, the new moon in Gemini on the 26th and 27th continues to highlight this 12th house. Now notice all these planets in the 12th house, which is again suggesting you've got all kinds of ideas, premonitions. Your mind is on overload. And so this is why I suggest writing things down. Don't overwhelm yourself because the energy is going to be quite high. There are no planets in retrograde, which means that things are start to flow. Many changes are on the horizon, and this is the planning stages. So this new moon is helping you to plan the future, at least for the next 2 weeks. And by then, Jupiter will enter your first house. So there is some wonderful alignments coming in here if you just, work your magic, plan accordingly and make it happen. Okay, so there's the general overview of the month. If you want to know more, I do an extended version of this horoscope in my Inner Circle community, as you can see here. And in the Inner Circle, I also do a weekly astrology overview, and the members seem to really enjoy that. I teach astrology. There's a whole 6-module course in the community. There's all kinds of posts and activities there. And every Sunday, we're on a Zoom call with the members talking about anything and everything. And some of the members send me their charts. I go over it. I look it over. And so it's really a very fun community, and I really enjoy it. And of course, there's also a 7-day free trial. So there's no obligation. You go in there for 7 days, check it out. And if you like it, you stay. So this is going to be, I think, a great community long term. So consider joining. Anyway, have a great month, and I look forward to talking to you soon. Bye for now.